Hey everyone, so I've made a blunder. You might have seen if you watched my other video, I was just watching some owls and I'm glad I did, it was worth it. But I've made a blunder because I'm in a rainforest and it's night time and I only have the small torch on my camera. But it's inspired me to make a video. So that's what I'm doing. Is making a video because I want to talk about these situations in life, because I think the difference between fear and caution is something humanity is very much struggling to what's the word, to tell apart. You know, you can be cautious in life or you can be fearful. Naturally, I myself would be an absolute idiot to walk around in the rainforest. Well, I'm an idiot full stop for being in a rainforest at night, but to be in the rainforest at night alone without caution would be stupid. It would be ridiculous. But to be in a rainforest at night with fear would be even more stupid. So let me explain. So fear is not something I've allowed. Through meditation, I've trained my body not to generate fear. I prefer to generate positive, happy emotions, you know, gratitude, happiness, faithfulness, and all the joyful, nice stuff, yeah? Naturally, I still experience negative emotions, I'm a human. But what I don't do is let my mind generate them. So what I mean is I could be in this forest now and let my mind wander away with me. I could start saying, it's getting dark, what am I going to do? Something might come and get me, you know, an animal might come, or there might be a person who's out and about, who, anything, yeah, anything. But if you let your mind do that, you're going to get fearful. And then something stupid will probably happen because you'll get in a panic, because you've generated a fear from an illusion. So you might start running. For example, you might start trying to run home when it's too dark without a good torch. And you trip, fall, hurt your leg, and you end up in trouble. All because you didn't have control of your brain. All because you didn't know how to tell your brain not to generate fears, and in turn generate panic and anxiety. So there's a difference between fear and caution. As I say, I'd be an idiot to be here and not be more cautious. Which is why I'm standing still filming with the small light from my torch shining at my feet in case anything comes, like a snake, etc. I should actually not be filming, but I just felt inspired to make this. I should just be walking back, but anyway. I just felt it was a good time to make this. Speak about this. So, yeah, I'm cautious, and I'm more cautious now because it's dark, because wild animals have their own agenda, and when I run I always carry my knife when I'm out in the forest, out in the bush, because there are things out there, you know, like scorpions and snakes and stuff. There's honey badgers as well, and there's other animals. Obviously I'm in Tanzania, there's no lions where I am. I will hasten to add that, so don't think I've got any lions around me. But the thing is, with what I just explained, is this is one of the problems in society. So a lot of you will know, on the planet, not society, the whole of the planet, a lot of you will know that I promote sharing as the solution to pretty much every issue we face on the planet. And it's the inability to share that causes a lot of issues. And that stems from the same thing I've just spoke about, which stems from fear, but an illusory fear. So fear can be useful. It's supposed to be useful, that's why it's there. So for example, say I was out here now and an animal came to attack me. Fear might give me the adrenaline I need to outrun that animal or to fight that animal and defend myself. But fear, when you generate it, when there's nothing in your present moment actually happening and you manage to imagine the fear, that's an illusion, yeah? And that's the illusory problem of the human mind in compared to a lot of our all of our natural friends on the planet, all the animals. They don't have a carnal mind, which tricks them like ours does. So, if we are in everyday life, and we have men, women and children suffering all over the planet, some without food, some sick, you know how it is. We know how the planet is. Suffering in many different ways, no homes, sleeping open air, you know, hungry. And it's just, the solution to those problems sits idle as numbers in people's bank accounts. And a lot of the time it sits idle as numbers in people's bank accounts instead of manifesting itself as the end of suffering, because those people are scared. They have fear in their lives. They try to plan for an illusory future, you know, I've got to have this in the bank because this might happen, or I need it for this, or I want to be able to do this. And it disconnects you. Having money like that disconnects you from a more human aspect of you. The part of you that can interact with the present moment. Your intuitive self, you know. And it makes you a less effective animal being on the planet, because you have this safety barrier all the time, so you can get a little bit lazy. You know, you're like, oh well, you know, I've got money in the bank, I've got food for without any shadow of a doubt. There's food coming tomorrow, the day after, next week, next month, next year. And it atrophies a lot of the stuff that we have as gifts. Spiritual, metaphysical, intuitive, whatever you want to call them, yeah? And it's only in giving it away and being in the present moment that we start to learn those gifts again, I think, because there's no need to atrophy them any further. So as I say, people are not sharing because a lot of them have a fear, because they have this belief due to society: if I don't have this number in the bank account, this might happen and I might get into trouble. Never mind that someone's in trouble right now and it's a child and they're more vulnerable than I am, and they are in a lot of pain and suffering. And I'm not judging anyone for doing that, because that's the way I used to be, by all means. That's definitely the way I was. But you can see there's a relationship there between fear and sharing. People are not... The end to suffering on the planet is not illusory. It exists. But it exists idle, as numbers in bank accounts all over the planet. So you've got to ask the question. Some people are greedy, I admit that. And some people, the more they own, the more it owns them. So there's that aspect of it. But a lot of good people out there with money in the bank account are afraid, and they're scared because of the way society is designed. They're scared to share because they've been told from a young age that you have to have this safety blanket, this foundation of, you know, money in the bank account and control. But it's illusory, yeah, it's illusory. But there's a big relationship between fear and sharing. So the answer to sharing, a big part of people not sharing, is fear. And the solution to the world's problems is sharing, spreading resources equally. So what's the solution to fear is then the question that we have to ask. And I believe the solution to fear is faith. And that's what we're lacking in the West, in this science-based world where we don't have all the answers. You know, we think we do with science, but we don't. The fundamentals, the very core foundation of science is built on quantum physics. The very core study of quantum physics is built on particles like atoms. And the very core study of atoms clearly admits that we haven't got a clue how atoms work, or even how it is that they come to disappear when we're studying them. So, the foundation of everything humanity thinks it knows is based on nothing. Faith is where the answer is. And we never learn it until you take the risks. I never learned it until I took the risks. A very wise and spiritual woman said some words that I heard one time, and she lives here in Tanzania, and she said, God can't fill a purse until it's empty. So unless one day you have the faith and the guts to empty your purse to help others, to help those who need food and shelter and medical care more than you need the illusory psychological comfort of having some numbers in your bank account. Until you find the faith and the courage to empty your purse on their behalf and leave yourself with nothing, then God's never going to show you that he can fill that purse for you again. Because this is how it works. And I can tell you for a fact this is how it works. This is how it's worked for myself. Working here with the children. God can't fill your purse until it's empty. So, and you're never going to learn that that's the case till you find the courage to empty it. And then, and only then, will you be liberated from the fear of a rainy day, as we say in the UK. And then when you're liberated from that fear, you can live a life free. And you can live a life of sharing and of service. You can get out there because you've got faith. You've got faith that God will provide for you. You know, and if you're Christian, it tells you about this. It tells you in the Bible that a sparrow doesn't sow crops, but the Lord still provides food for it every day in the home, yeah? So, and this is allegorical. I'm not saying we shouldn't grow crops, it's an allegory. It's telling you, you don't have to always think that you need to control the future, because there's other parts of reality will care for you, yeah? And here, living in a tribal community, they know it and they believe it. I've been with families that they've had the urge to sing to God one night. I had a family tell me they had the urge to sing to God and praise him because they had no food, and they still wanted to praise him and thanks because they still had their health. And it wasn't a miracle. It wasn't like an angel came down from the heavens and plonked food on their lap, but a family around them must have heard them singing and must have heard them praying as well, because they came and left food on the doorstep. And this is how it works, yeah? This is true equality in communitarianism, and this is what I've begun to build here in Tanzania. It's just such a community where sharing without fear, where we empty our purse. Whenever God fills it, we empty it on those who need it much more than what we need money in the bank. And lo and behold, he reaches out and he fills it again. So, be free of the fear to share, but be free of your fear by having faith. And the only way you're ever going to do that is to find the courage, even one time, to empty your purse for the betterment and the ending of suffering of those who need the numbers in your bank account more than you need the comfort of numbers in your bank account. They need food, they need shelter. Do that one time and watch how something miraculous will happen and it will come back to you. Then you'll understand. Then you'll understand that, as I say, as it says in the Bible, you don't have to sow crops. You know, God does watch all living things, including even a sparrow. So, if you empty your purse on behalf of those who need it more than you, he'll find a way to fill it. Or she. Or the Elohim, if you prefer. And, you know, I don't like to give God a sex. Anyway, yeah. Liberate yourself from fear. You can share. And if we can all share, we can change the world. That's what I believe. Okay. Bye.
I